Ron DeSantis, as Matt has been saying, the darling of conservative media right now, and he's doing everything that he can to build up his resume on anti-woke, anti-gay, anti-black pieces of legislation that he's implementing in Florida so that when he eventually runs for president, his portfolio of hatred is thick. He's also just getting credit for it in conservative media for doing these kinds of things. And now he is in the business of banning books. That's the free speech warriors on the right. In this instance, there were some math textbooks that contained inappropriate material, according to Ron DeSantis. And so here he is at a press conference explaining why these math textbooks, and I'll let you know what the material was in a second, were unfit for children to use.
You do have things like social and emotional learning and some of the other things that are more political in there. In our view on something like math, first, it doesn't meet the standards. But second, math is about getting the right answer. And we want kids to learn to think so they get the right answer. It's not about how you feel about the problem or to introduce some of these other things. There's a right answer and there's a wrong answer. And we want all our students getting the right answers. And so most of the books that did not meet Florida standards for whatever reason happen to be in the early grades. As you get into the older grades, most of those books did meet the standards, but we're going to continue to focus the education on the actual strong academic performance of the students. We don't want things like math to have, some of these other concepts introduced. It's not been proven to be effective, and quite frankly, it takes our eye off the ball.
What is the ball? Yeah, he can't really say it out loud, but it's to make sure that there's enough of a firewall for parents who are conservatives who don't want their children learning not to hate people. And Ron DeSantis is going to provide that for them. And also, it's a twofer. Then you also get to target teachers, and if they teach material that might contain social and emotional learning in a context that is math class where it's got to be straightforward, facts over feelings in a math class, right? Hey, those teachers can be fired. It's a great way to undercut teachers' unions too. But what is the social and emotional learning that was in these textbooks? Here's from the New York Times. Florida has rejected 42 of 132 math textbooks proposed for use in public school classrooms because they, quote, incorporate prohibited topics or unsolicited strategies, including social emotional learning and critical race theory, according to the state's Department of Education. So take it with a boulder of salt. The state, which announced its decision on Friday afternoon, did not share information on the specific content to which it was objecting, and several publishers told the New York Times they had not yet received documents detailing the state's critiques. At a Monday news conference, Mr. DeSantis highlighted the presence of, quote, social and emotional learning material in the rejected elementary school textbooks. And then they quote some of what you heard there. A review of sample content from one publisher whose elementary school textbooks appear to have been rejected, Big Learning Ideas, showed, and, trigger warning, this is really scary stuff that should not be taught to elementary school kids. Just
Is it going to be that white
prepared.
people are fundamentally bad and can't do good things and should feel ashamed for all of history? Is that
close?
What the math book says?
You get a half a point. Lessons intended to build self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, and social awareness, which, that sounds kind of like black people aren't terrible.
It sounds like communism.
Yes. And relationship skills. The framework of 5 skills is a popular one in schools across the country and was developed by CASEL, an education nonprofit. In one text, it's graphic stuff. Cartoon animals help build one another's confidence in order to cross a wobbly bridge. In another, a cartoon dog movie star says she feels lonely, and other animals offer to befriend her. We can't have that. We can't have
not
that.
like anything that to sort of activate children's imaginations when they're trying to learn math. Like that would be horrible.
It would be. I mean, and also to, not silo pieces of your education and understanding that your job, whenever you get it as a child, is not to only perceive topics as their surface level tasks, but to have a holistic view of things that also incorporates kindness, maybe helping someone cross a wobbly bridge. No. DeSantis's math classes, in those kinds of classes, you're not helping an old lady cross the street. You're pushing her in front of a bus.
I mean, that's the thing about this stuff, is how little of sort of any smoke there is for them to be running around yelling fire. And like this, and so they need like something, right? They need, oh, now it's these math books. There's this sort of like fuzzy language, and because they don't have any actual grooming or critical race or people being shamed for being white or whatever the hell the CRT panic is. So now it's math books are they give you a participation medal for your feelings or something.
Right. It's also just the politicization of empathy, right? They want to make empathy seem scary. They want to make kindness be associated with weakness or controversy for kids. And if you do that, if you kind of try to stamp out empathy as early as possible, there'll be better warriors in the anti-woke culture war when they come of age.